Today, we are not just selling grain. We are shaping the future of Burkina Faso. This $14 billion partnership with India.
As dawn broke over Asia, the world was still rubbing sleep from its eyes. Traders in New York and London sipped their morning coffee, expecting another routine day. Then, a single headline flashed across screens, sending shockwaves through global markets. Burkina Faso, a landlocked nation often overlooked, had inked a historic $14 billion deal with India to supply 20 million metric tons of maize and sorghum over the next decade. From the fertile fields of Africa to the bustling ports of India, this agreement was nothing short of seismic. The news caught the world off guard. Burkina Faso, a country rarely associated with global agricultural might, had stepped boldly onto the world stage. India, a titan of food production, seemed an unlikely partner. Why this deal? Why now? Questions swirled through newsrooms, television studios, and trading floors across the globe. Markets reacted instantly. Grain prices surged, and commodity exchanges in Mumbai, Chicago, and London hummed with frenetic energy. Futures for maize and sorghum soared as analysts scrambled to decode the implications. Some hailed it as a transformative moment in global food security. Others called it a daring leap that reshaped the agricultural landscape. For rival exporters in South America and Eastern Europe, long dominant Asia's grain markets, this was a wake-up call. A new player had arrived, and it was rewriting the rules. The official statement was strikingly concise. Just 3 paragraphs, no fanfare, no grand speeches. Just raw, unadorned facts. 20 million tons of grain, $14 billion in value, a decade-long commitment. Yet, in its simplicity, it roared with impact. On the surface, this was a straightforward transaction, Burkina Faso selling, India buying. But beneath the numbers lay a deeper truth. This was no ordinary trade. It was a bold strategy to safeguard against an uncertain future. For India, it was a shield against the whims of nature. Its food supply hinges on the monsoon's mercy. Abundant rains bring bounty, but drought sparks scarcity and soaring prices. By partnering with Burkina Faso, India wove a safety net, ensuring stability no matter the weather. For Burkina Faso, this was a moment of triumph, a chance to shed its image as a land of gold mines and cotton fields and emerge as an agricultural powerhouse. For the world, it was a reminder that even a small, landlocked nation could become a linchpin in feeding billions. This monumental deal didn't materialize overnight. Its roots trace back years to quiet conversations in global trade forums. Burkina Faso's leaders arrived not with flashy promises, but with a steady vision, speaking of their untapped agricultural potential. Indian officials, aware of the risks of relying on just a few global suppliers amid unpredictable climate shifts, listened intently. Initial talks weren't about dollars or contracts, they were about trust. Indian envoys journeyed to Burkina Faso's heartland, touring fields, inspecting silos, and meeting farmers. They asked hard questions. Could the harvest scale? Would quality hold? Could supply endure for a decade? Slowly, confidence took root. But one towering challenge loomed: Burkina Faso's landlocked geography. Shipping millions of tons of grain across borders through neighboring nations and over oceans seemed a logistical nightmare. Doubt swirled about whether it was even feasible. Yet, where others saw barriers, Burkina Faso and India saw opportunity. Together, they committed to transforming the impossible into reality, co-investing in railways, roads, and port facilities. What began as a hurdle became a beacon of ingenuity, proving that collaboration could conquer even the toughest obstacles. India, a grain colossus, produces vast quantities of rice, wheat, maize, and sorghum annually. Yet, its self-sufficiency is fragile. Bumper harvests often rot in overstuffed warehouses, while poor monsoons trigger shortages and costly imports. This deal with Burkina Faso offers a lifeline. The two nations' differing rainfall patterns mean that a bad season in India doesn't spell disaster in West Africa. Burkina Faso becomes India's climate insurance, a hedge against unpredictable harvests. But why choose a newcomer like Burkina Faso over established exporters? The answer lies in trust, vision, and mutual benefit. India didn't just offer payment, it pledged to strengthen Burkina Faso's agriculture with silos, irrigation, and cutting-edge training. Unlike other powers that tie trade to political strings, India approached as an equal, building on a decade of smaller collaborations in textiles and machinery. This wasn't a transaction. It was a partnership forged in shared respect. Beyond grain, this deal is a geopolitical statement. In a world where trade and politics intertwine, India's move signals its ambition to lead in Africa, countering the influence of other global players. For Burkina Faso, choosing India was a declaration of independence, a refusal to be tethered to traditional trade partners. The ripple effects were immediate. Across West Africa, nations with fertile lands began to dream bigger, inspired to build their own infrastructure and seek global buyers. But not everyone celebrated. South American and Eastern European exporters, blindsided by Burkina Faso's rise, braced for tougher competition. Some warned of price wars, yet others saw a silver lining, a more diverse global supply chain, less reliant on a handful of giants, fostering a more resilient food system. At home, Burkina Faso faced a critical question. Would exporting so much grain leave its own people hungry? The government's response was resolute. A fixed portion of the harvest was reserved for domestic use, untouchable by global markets. Revenue from the deal would fund local food subsidies and irrigation, boosting production to feed both the world and its own citizens. Meanwhile, India's growing dairy and poultry industries, hungry for affordable feed, found a reliable source in Burkina Faso's sorghum. This wasn't just about human food. It was about stabilizing industries that provide millions of jobs and affordable protein. The deal's climate diversity further strengthened its brilliance. By linking two nations with contrasting weather patterns, it created a buffer against the chaos of climate change. This partnership is more than a grain exchange. It's a blueprint for progress. India's investment in Burkina Faso's infrastructure, modern silos, expanded roads, and upgraded ports will fuel not just agriculture but the entire economy. Better transport means more trade, more jobs, and new horizons for industries like mining and manufacturing. On a global stage, this deal challenges the old order. It proves that a small landlocked nation can rival the giants with strategy and trust. For India, it's a bold step to secure its future, forging alliances far beyond its borders. For the world, it's a lesson in resilience. Diversify, invest, and partner as equals. As Burkina Faso and India embark on this decade-long journey, challenges will arise. Climate shifts, price swings, political changes. Yet their shared vision lights the way. This isn't just a deal. It's a symbol of courage, trust, and ambition, a handshake that reshaped the world.